All right, hey, how's it going? So we're going to start today. We're going to talk about branching and maybe a little bit about GitHub issues, but mainly this is about branching. So if you think about your GitHub, and this may be a little bit of overlap from the other videos, but this is important and I need to make it clear for you guys. So GitHub is a version control system, so it's going to help to keep your changes as you push them up there. So that way, if you need to revert back to a previous change, if something happens, you can, and it allows multiple people to work on the project at the same time, which is good. So if you think about a tree, you have the main branch, which would be the trunk of the tree. So the main branch, we want to not cut this down, right? We want this to stay pristine. This is our production code. This is not what we want to be messing with code on. So do not code on the main branch. Okay. So you've got your main branch. So whenever it's your turn, whenever you need to make a um, what word I've lost the word a development feature, um, then you are going to make your own branch to work on. Okay. So what that's going to do is it's going to give you a copy of the code to then work on, and then when you're ready, you will then do a pull request and eventually merge it back into the main branch. Okay, so to do that, you just go to your GitHub Desktop, okay, and you've got your repository selected, and then over here you see it says current branch is main. Okay, so again, this is a branch we're not touching. We're not going to code on the main branch. So click here, and you'll see it says new branch right here. So you click new branch, and then if you had multiple branches here, it would ask you which branch you want to branch off of. So in this case, we only have the main branch, so that, we're not going to go off of any other branch. That's it. So we'll just call this our second branch. We'll say my branch. Okay. If you put spaces, GitHub will put a little hyphen in there for you, which is good. So we're going to create a branch. So now when we're going to hit publish branch because we want our branch to be on github.com. So eventually we can put that into the main branch. We can merge it in. Okay, so that's what that does. So now if we look at our code, and for our instance, we are using Android Studio for our robot stuff. For anybody else who's watching, this could be VS Code, whatever IDE developer, uh, whatever you're using to build your code on. So in here, we're going to make a change. Okay, so let's just say at the bottom down here, I put I like tacos. Okay, the change has been made. So now if we go back to our GitHub desktop, we will see that I like tacos change has been made. Okay, this is on my branch. This is not on main. Now, if I were to go back to the main branch, it's going to ask if I want to bring my changes. I do not, because we're going to merge on github.com, not on GitHub Desktop. Okay, so we're just going to leave our changes there. We'll hit switch branch. So now if we bring our code back up, then we will see I like tacos is not there anymore. Okay, so this is the difference. Main is not messed up. Okay, because we made our own branch off of it. So now you can kind of see my steps here. After you've made your changes to the code, then we're going to commit the changes and we're going to push them to github.com. This is still on our branch, okay? Not on main, our branch. So if we go back to GitHub Desktop, we're going to go back to our branch. If you switch off of your branch, it's going to stash your changes. So you just have to view them. And if you still want them, then you just hit restore. If not, you can discard them. So we're going to restore our changes. So it puts them back over here. So, okay, cool. It gave me a little hint as to what I can put in my commit down here at the bottom left. Update SOP. That's good. If I want to put further description, like I like tacos, then I can put it down there. When you hit commit, this is going to take your changes and it's just going to put them on your branch locally on your machine. It's going to commit them to the changes. So basically stage them, getting them ready to go to be on your branch on github.com. So we're going to commit. It's going to do its thing. And then you'll see up here or over here, same thing. It says push to origin. So origin being github.com. Locally, we're remote, right? We're the remote branch from Origin. Um, I may have said that wrong, but anyway, origin is github.com. So we're going to push them up github.com. Okay. So once that's done, then we're going to do a pull request. But for 1 second, I want to jump to github.com and show you that if you are on your repository here, under this little tab right here, you can actually see your different branches. Okay. So if you click in there, you can look at the code and see that it's different than main, just like we're doing on github.com. I mean, on GitHub Desktop. Okay. So back here, so we're going to preview our pull request because so at this point, we've written our code. We've got our feature working on our branch. Everything's beautiful. And so we're ready to ask or request that it gets pulled into the main branch. So pull request, you're requesting that it gets pulled in. So we're going to click the preview button here. It's going to give you a preview of the changes made. It's going to ask what branch you want to pull it into from what branch. So you're going to pull it into the main branch from my branch. That's what we're requesting. It's not happening yet. We're just requesting it. So now down here at the bottom right, you can see create pull request. When I click this, you notice it says create pull request on GitHub. So that's github.com. So it's going to open a window for us, a browser window. There we go. So this is pretty much the same thing. Right here, it says the branch you want to pull it into compared to the branch you have, which is my branch. And it's got a title, so it fills that in for you. But if you need a more distinctive title, or if it doesn't make sense, definitely put something that makes sense there. You want to be as clear as possible because the other people you're working with aren't necessarily going to know what exactly you've done or you're doing. So make sure they know. Down here, it's going to give a little summary of what's going on. So you want to kind of write that up and again, make it make sense. The clearer, the better. On the right here, there's a bunch of different things you can do. If you're working at a company, you're going to have other developers as reviewers, and then you can assign it to yourself. And there's other things here. For our use for robotics, I just made some tags under assignee. I'm sorry, under labels. So you got Dakota and the rest of you guys. So that's how we're actually going to assign these pull requests and issues we'll talk about in a minute to whoever's actually working on it. Okay. So in this case, I think I made myself one. Yeah, right here, Mr. Rigsby. So you can see now that this label is me. So this is my pull request, my branch. So then if you guys look at this, you can go, oh, okay, this belongs to whoever. Okay, so once you're happy with this, you're like, okay, cool, I'm ready to send it on. And we're going to create pull request right here, this green button. And wait for that to get done. So now at this point, you'll notice on my Android Studio, so a window open for github.com, and that's stuff we just did. So now stop. Okay. So at this point, you're going to have a teammate or the head code reviewer review your code. Okay, it's not going anywhere yet. We need somebody else's eyes on it, that it makes sense, that when we pull it into main, it's not going to jack anything up. So we're going to stop here, and we're going to, now that we have the pull request made, we're going to say, hey, Dylan in this case, because currently he's the head code reviewer up here. And that'll rotate and get everybody practice with that. But for now, that's who it is, Dylan. So you're gonna go, hey Dylan, check out my code, see what's going on. So he's gonna come in here, or whoever the code reviewer is at that time. They're gonna come into the github.com, click on the pull request button tab. They're gonna see the pull request, open that bad boy up, and then over here where it says files changed, click that. And then you can see all the files that were changed. Okay. And then also you can review changes over here, which we're going to do in a second. Another thing that you can do if it's a lot of changes and you actually want to run it on the robot, which is definitely recommended, or others who aren't working on a robot, if you want to run this code in your browser or whatever it is, you would just go to github.com and you would see the different branches here, or the pull request is even easier. See the pull request, so you can click on that, and then bring this up on your machine, your local computer, and then run the code, do whatever you got to do with it to make sure that it works. Okay. We're not just looking at it and go, okay, well, that makes sense. You want to actually run it, make sure it does what it's supposed to do, make sure the code makes sense, that it's properly commented, um, and that everything works. So we can actually have working stuff on the main branch, because you don't want to break the main branch. Okay, cool. So let's pretend like I did all that and I'm good. I'm like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. We like tacos, love it. So you go to review changes. You're going to put a comment in here. I'll say I also like tacos. Okay. So you can comment. Um, you can approve or request. I cannot because I'm not actually in charge of this. I'm just added to it. But the code reviewer, any of you guys, would be able to approve or request changes. So if there is something wrong, click request changes, type it in, submit. If it's good, click approve, submit. So I'm going to just, since I can only comment, I'm just going to submit my comment. Okay. So once that's done, you'll come down here, and this is where the big merge happens, where it's actually going to merge into main. Okay. So at this point, there should be no doubt that the code is good and that we want it in main and that it's beautiful. And so once everybody's happy and it's been reviewed, you can go ahead and hit merge pull request. It's going to have you confirm that. And again, this should be the code reviewer doing this. Okay. Not the person who wrote it, the one who reviewed it. So yeah, they're going to hit that. They're going to confirm. It's probably a good idea to write in here like who reviewed it. So let's say Mr. Riggs reviewed it. And maybe we can do a tag for this or something, but somehow have it notated who reviewed it, so we can know, okay, who wrote it, who reviewed it, make sure it's all good. So if something does happen, we can come back and say, okay, what happened? You know, why it got reviewed, but something was missed. Just learn from it, okay? So cool. So it's reviewed, and now we're going to hit confirm merge, and that's going to go ahead and merge it into main, okay? Because that's what we chose up here. We're going to go into main from our branch, okay? And then so at this point, you're going to delete the branch because you don't want 9 million branches sitting around that are already done. So we'll hit delete branch. And then we can go back to our GitHub Desktop and we can change this back to main. You have to click branches. If you're on pull request and there's none, you're just going to see that. Click branches, go back to main. And so this was deleted on github.com, not deleted here. If you want to delete it yourself, you just right click and click delete. So we click main, and then we bring up our code. We will see. Oh, sorry, forgot a step. My bad. On GitHub Desktop, when you go back to main, you need to fetch origin, which means you're going to get any changes that were made on GitHub.com. You're going to fetch those, bring them down to your local machine. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, once you switch back to main, click fetch origin. And this is a good idea to do anytime you switch branches. Go ahead and fetch origins to make sure there's nothing up there that you need to pull down. So you'll see here and over here, it says pull origin because there are changes there that we want to pull down. We'll go ahead and click it. It's going to come on down. Okay, so now it's good. So now when we look at our Android Studio, you can see I like tacos is down there. So that's the gist of it. And I've got it laid out here. And I'll put this in the comments for the YouTube video as well, for those of you who aren't on the robotics stuff, who are just working on their own stuff, because this is very, I mean, this is what we do, right? We in real life at software development places, this is what we do or should do. So let me see. I think that's good on that. If you have merge conflicts, that basically means you're gonna open it in the editor and see like what code is overlapping and what you want to keep. For the robotics guys, I can help you walk through this. Anybody else, you can reach out or ask your senior or whatever. They're not as scary as they seem because they were super scary at the beginning for me. It's just taking the time to go through and look and make sure that, like this is this is what I want. Um, cool. So the other thing I want to talk about real quick is issues. So for the robotics guys, on github.com, there's an issues tab right here. Yeah, on github.com, issues tab right here. Okay. So in here, you can put the issues that you found and then also like features that you want to get done. Okay. So I know we're going to be working on the Roadrunner and April tag stuff. Um, in a dev shop, you may have features that you're going to build, like, maybe you're going to build I don't know, a cart, to like sell stuff or um, whatever feature it is. Or you have bugs, right? It's always bugs. So, for some reason that button doesn't work, or you can't type in this input, or your validations are wrong, or whatever. So whatever it is, you can put it here in issues. Okay. And with the issues for the robotics guys, again, we can use that little tag under labels to assign it to whoever. So let's say this one's for Dakota. So it'll be here for him. So when you look on the issues page, you can see there's a little label saying who it's for. And you can put multiple labels, a bunch of people working on it. And if you need to break the issues down further, then just create more issues. So that way it's pretty specific as to what is actually being done. Great way to keep track of what you're doing and stay organized. So I'm going to take Dakota off of that because I don't know if he's on that. And you can just go in here and just X them off if it's the wrong label. Cool. I think that may be it. Let's see. We got main, that. Oh, don't push broken code. Okay. So if you're working on something and it's not working yet, don't push it because we don't want to merge broken code into main. Okay. You can, whenever you do, when you're on GitHub Desktop, if you have code here that's uh, not quite ready yet, just don't commit it, don't push it yet. Okay. Just make sure your files are saved on your Android Studio or whatever your IDE you're working on, because it just causes a lot more work than you need to do if you push broken code. Again, main branch is the trunk of the tree. We don't want to chop that down, so don't make changes directly to main. Make sure your code's getting reviewed. There are options in GitHub to not allow code to be pushed or merged, I'm sorry, if it is not reviewed. However, you have to have, I think, the pro plan or something it was saying when I tried to do that for the robotics. So, but if you just have that in place in your shop, that it has to be reviewed, that's like one of your SOPs, then it's good code practice. I think that is it. Yeah, cool. All right, let me know if you have any questions, put in the comments, or just reach out to me on Discord for the robotics guys. All right, thank you.